Ruby Bridges. Table of Contents. Who was Ruby Bridges? What was the South like? How was Ruby brave? How did Ruby make a difference? Ruby grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana. Who was Ruby Bridges? Ruby Bridges was a little girl who made a big difference. Ruby was born in 1954. She and her family lived in the South. Ruby Bridges photographed at age 6 in New Orleans, Louisiana. What was the South like? When Ruby was young, some laws in the South were not fair to black people. These laws kept black people and white people separated. Black people could not use the same drinking fountains as white people in the South. A United States law said that all children had to go to the same schools. State laws in the South still kept black and white children separate. Black children and white children had to go to different schools. Many people worked to make Southern schools follow the United States law. Black children and white children went to different schools in the South. How was Ruby brave? Ruby was chosen to go to a white school for first grade in 1960. She was the only black student in that school. Many white parents did not want their children to go to school with a black child. They kept their children at home. Some angry white people stood outside Ruby's new school. They yelled at Ruby every day when she went to school. People stood outside of the school and yelled at Ruby. Ruby kept going to school. Officers kept her safe. Ruby was led into school by officers. Do you know, other black students in South went to all-white schools like Ruby. In 1957, 9 black teenagers went to a white high school in Little Rock, Arkansas. The President of the United States sent soldiers to protect the students so they could go to school. Many people helped Ruby while she went to school. Ruby had a nice teacher named Miss Henry. Ruby was the only child in Miss Henry's classroom. All the other children had been pulled out of the class by their parents. A man named Mr. Coles helped Ruby too. Mr. Cole helped Ruby with the way she felt about going to school. Ruby drew pictures about her feelings. Many neighbors helped Ruby and her family too. How did Ruby make a difference? Ruby was a brave girl who didn't let anything stop her from going to school. She showed people that children can help change the country. Do you know, this photo shows Ruby Bridges with President Barack Obama in 2001. They are standing in front of a painting called The Problem We All Live With. It shows Ruby being taken to school by officers. The next year, other black students went to school with Ruby. Today, many different children go to school together. Ruby still works to bring children together. She still works to make the world fair for everyone. Ruby read a book about her life to students in New York City in 2000. Brave, having courage when facing something scary, hard, or painful. Difference, an important change. Fair, just right or proper. Laws, rules made by our government. Separate, set or kept apart. South, the southeastern part of the United States.